welcome to Half the Battle.
Terminator, War Games, The Matrix, half the episodes of the original Star Trek.
If there's one thing science fiction writers love, it's the cliché that computers are evil.
So, of course, GIJoe dipped its toe in that too. Let's take a look at the cartoon episode, The Pit of Vipers. The episode starts with Cobra launching an attack from their brand new base. They're going all out with planes, trouble bubbles, and tanks. The Joes get alerted to the situation.
Breaker to all units, code red!
How could they have built that thing without our satellites picking it up?
I don't know, how did they ever build the other 600 bases that you never found out about until the plot demanded it?
The Joes arrive when Cobra's forces have barely left the base, meaning that once again, Cobra built a base within spitting distance of GIJoe headquarters. Well, to be fair, there's a reason for it this time, which we'll see in a bit. The battle itself goes pretty much like every battle between the Joes and Cobras in the cartoon, with the Joes wiping the floor with them. But all is not what it seems.
Joe?
Simulation terminated. Defense system disengaged. Access permitted.
Simulation? Where'd they go?
It was all a drill. Yeah, I never get tired of that one.
At least the Joes seem to be just as pissed off about it as me.
Radio Colonel Sharp, I want the Pentagon in on this now.
We're already in on it, Flint. The Defense Department built this unit. It's codenamed Watchdog, and it's the world's most advanced computer system.
But the Cobra troops.
Computer-generated images. Holograms.
It would be a grave oversight of me not to mention that even the fake holographic bad guys jump to safety after their vehicle gets hit. Colonel Sharp, who for some reason was in charge of the Joes early on in the cartoon series, explains that this was all a test of the Pentagon's new supercomputer, the most advanced military weapon ever built.
Because those things always work out so well.
Well, Watchdog is the Joe team's new, commander, Flint.
Yeah, after just one test, they put the thing in charge of the Joes. They did more quality assurance testing on freaking Skynet. The thing's inventor, Dr. Hamler, who is the whitest black guy I've ever seen, by the way, the animation department must have screwed up, reveals that Watchdog uses a communications and recon network to scan every inch of the globe to find terrorists.
And the NSA just started drooling uncontrollably. Yeah, no wonder this thing got funded.
The supercomputer gets to work straight away, finding Cobra Commander and Destro in a flash. They're aboard the Cerberus, a yacht in the Indian Ocean.
And no, I didn't make a mistake there. The cartoon did.
The boat is called the Cerberus, both when spoken and in text. I'm sure they meant Cerberus after the three-headed dog that guards hell in Greek mythology, but they screwed up. Unless the yacht is named after a comic book artwork, but I somehow doubt that. Anyway, the Joes attack the ship and down her with little to no problem. When Shipwreck goes to check for wreckage though, he can find no trace of the thing. Watchdog tells him it's been covered in sediment on the ocean floor and orders the sailor back to base. A Shipwreck, who's never really been on a first-name basis with respecting authority, says nuts to that and goes investigating on his own. After his first, well, let's call it successful mission for the time being, the computer sends the Joes out to find more Cobras. It turns out, however, that the yacht was really a submarine, and Cobra Commander and Destro are very much alive.
Cue Cobra Commander explaining the plot.
Even the financing!
You agree then, Commander, it becomes easier to defeat GIJoe when the US government foots part of the bill.
Yeah, they don't state it outright, but if it wasn't blatantly obvious enough, Watchdog works for Cobra. And it's doing its job well. It scattered the Joe team all over the world, where they find exciting enemy forces, like a crashed Fang helicopter, a damaged empty Hiss tank, and a long-abandoned Cobra base located in, cold as Hellistan, I guess. So, with the exception of the yacht, they're coming up empty. Meanwhile, Shipwreck has struck pay dirt and finds the hidden underwater Cobra base.
Another base that those world-class GIJoe satellites failed to pick up.
Before he can contact the Joes, however, he is attacked and while trying to escape, gets knocked out. He wakes up in the presence of Dr. Hamler, who, after making sure Shipwreck wasn't able to contact the Joes, reveals himself to be Zartan. Shipwreck and Cobra Commander state the most obvious thing in the history of the cartoon series.
Then Watchdog takes its orders from Cobra.
With most of the Joe team on wild goose chases all over the world, GIJoe headquarters is pretty much defenseless and ripe for attack by Cobra's other ultimate weapon, the Pit Viper. And I think this is where the Rise of Cobra movie got one of its ideas from, with the underground drilling attack vehicle. The assault begins and the battle is on. Well, I say battle, it's basically just Scarlet and Breaker left at the base. Yeah, there aren't even any green shirts around. It should be noted that even though most of the Joes are gone, there's still plenty of vehicles left for the thing to destroy. Meaning they've got all this hardware, but no people to use it.
That's 80s military spending for ya!
So, things are going great for Cobra. Joe headquarters is being demolished, the Joes are scattered all around the globe, and Watchdog controls their defenses and their communications.
Let's see how Cobra Commander screws this one up.
I'm surprised you don't call him long distance and brag. An excellent idea. Destro, enable their communications.
Commander, no!
Oh, hello, Scarlet. I must have gotten the wrong number. I thought I was calling a scrapyard.
Watchdog belongs to Cobra! Take it out!
Ah, hubris. Where would the good guys be without it? Remember that ancient evil overlord list of do's and don'ts? This one isn't on it, but it should be. When my mortal enemy gives me advice, I shall ignore it, unless the advice is, look behind you. So, Breaker gets on the horn and tells the Joes to take out Watchdog. Just in case though, Cobra has outfitted the base with real Cobra troops, so at least real people will be jumping to safety from exploding vehicles this time. It also allows the cartoon to reuse footage from the beginning of the episode.
Ya cheap bastards.
Meanwhile, the Pit Viper is still running amok at Joe headquarters.
This is like trying to stop a Sherman tank with a fly swatter.
Or trying to stop a giant drilling machine with a crossbow. Seriously, what did you think was gonna happen?
Anyway, the Joes arrive for the assault on Watchdog, and considering they were spread across the globe, they must still have warp capability or something to get there that fast. Things don't go too well for the good guys for a change. Ace goes through Sky Strikers like Hogwarts goes through Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers. And I swear, those sounds are photon torpedoes from Star Trek. Now, I make kids, but this is actually a really cool battle scene. Unlike most other times, the forces appear to be evenly matched and there's great action from all participants. Kudos. Back at Joe HQ, they're considering throwing the kitchen sink at the mole machine.
Come on, Cobra. Nothing is that invincible, right?
This just raises the question, why doesn't Cobra build all their vehicles like that? Luckily, Breaker finds the one weak point on it, like it's a video game boss all of a sudden, and blows open the access hatch. Meanwhile, back at the battle...
That mesa must be one huge ammo dump. It's been shooting for hours without a break.
They are shooting lasers.
Lasers don't require ammo. They require energy. You can't have your cake and eat it too, cartoon. Also...
Flint! We're soldiers, Flint, not machines like Watchdog. We gotta pull back and catch our breath.
You're fighting flesh and blood Cobra troops too, you know. I don't hear them complaining. But enough nitpicking. The cavalry is here. And all of a sudden, I want to go watch Tremors again. The thing then does, well, this.
Jumper kissed them all goodbye.
I can't change the laws of physics.
Well, I guess Scotty is full of crap.
Not only is this physically impossible, but it was their plan all along, because they packed parachutes. Physics in the GIJoe universe are so screwed up, they bring parachutes when getting on board a thing that travels underground. And the episode ends with Cobra Commander having the mother of all tantrums.
No! No! How could they? They do this to me!
Watchdog and the Pit Viper, both destroyed. Bright side, take this and your bright side, Destro.
That will be quite enough, Commander!
Release me!
And so Shipwreck escapes. We don't see how he managed to do that, considering he was still trapped on an underwater base, but next scene, he's back at GIJoe headquarters. Yeah, I didn't edit that. That's literally what the cartoon does.
And if the brass ever want to buy us another Watchdog, Colonel, make it a Cocker Spaniel.
Shipwreck, old buddy, you gonna tell the Joes about a huge underwater base? You know, the one with the Commander and Destro on it? No? Not gonna take it out? Just gonna end on a lame joke, are you? Alrighty then.
And that was the Pit of Vipers. My thoughts?
Actually, for the most part, it was a great episode. Cobra came up with a great plan that seemed to work for once, with the Pentagon footing the bill for the computer no less. The Commander really does have a good reason to gloat and be happy for once. The battle between the Joes and Cobra is one of the best, if not the best, I've seen in the cartoon, and was evenly matched for once. It was also nice to see bit players like Frostbite and Heavy Metal get a bit of screen time. Also, the computer never went berserk. It was always under the control of Cobra, so it subverts the cliché a bit that computers will go hog wild and destroy all of humanity.
I do still have a few problems with the episode, but they're minor ones.
The title of the episode, The Pit of Vipers, doesn't really make sense. It's just a play on the name of the mole machine, the Pit Viper. In several other countries, including Malaysia, this episode was simply named Watchdog, a more fitting title. Everything did fall down a bit with the ending of the episode, no pun intended, with the thing flying into the sky, either under its own power or by way of volcanic eruption. In the latter's case, there's now an active volcano within spitting distance of GIJoe headquarters. Even saying all that, I can forgive it, since the battle and the conclusion really did make for an awesome action scene. What I can't forgive, however, is the rushed ending with Shipwreck just sneaking away and popping back up at GIJoe headquarters, no explanation given.
I can only guess that the episode was already running long, so some stuff didn't make it in, like taking out the underwater base, for example.
Lastly, considering the sheer number of Cobra bases, temples, and hideouts the Joes are never aware of until it's convenient for the plot, this line
How could they have built that thing without our satellites picking it up?
is one of the unintentionally funniest ones in G.I. Joe history.
Overall, it was a really good episode that I recommend you check out. Well, see you next time, everybody!